All right, all right. What's up, Heath? How you doing?
Good.
Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. I appreciate you coming out. We're going to do a little FormPiper vendor spotlight today. Um, you and I have had a working relationship and friendship for, I'd say, probably over 5 years now. I think I was one of Premier Services Group's first customers.
Yeah.
Maybe not number one, but I was there in the beginning. So I just thought it would be good to kind of give a little background and context on Premier Service Group and how you work with FormPiper. And then ultimately just kind of get into what you're doing and how you're helping retailers all across the country. Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, great. Well, for context, FormPiper is a consumer financing software business. We help retailers all across the country automate their consumer financing by bringing their applications together into one application. Um, Built it for my business and thought I solved my problem. But what we realized when we got together is I had new problems, right? So I had created this great system for my team to be able to go in and run these apps, but they still had to run them, right? They still had to do the contracts. And I remember when I got the phone call from one of your team members, it was just a cold call. She had me on the list. I remember being out on the boat dock, just kind of hanging out. And I don't normally answer phone calls from numbers that I don't know, but for some reason I answered it. And she introduced herself and was like, "I'm from PSG, and what we do is we help you do your contracts and automate your flow with consumer financing." And I remember immediately saying to her, "That's very interesting. I'm going to need to talk to the owner of the company." I was like, "This is probably the best phone call you have ever made." It was her first day. She was super nervous, right? Just getting in those reps. And so the rest is history, right? So we got on the phone. We were really able to dial in. You were already familiar with my business working at Mariner Finance, right? We were a customer of yours. And ultimately, what we found out is that your company could come in, take my technology, run all the applications for my team, let us know what the approvals were, and then when we were ready to do the contract, ultimately we could send you the information and you would work with the customer to do the contract, right?
That was it.
That's like in a nutshell, that's the Premier Service Group service. Now, the great thing about this is I was running 500 applications a month. All of my A squad was in charge of doing it because it equated for 65% of my revenue. So if I had an average person or somebody I couldn't count on running the apps, what we would find is they don't finish, right? And they don't run all the options. So my best players were running the apps. They were basically data entry people, contract go overers, if that, whatever that word would be, right? And ultimately, I was bottlenecked with my talent because my talent was here. So you were able to come in, remove that workflow from my business, free up all my talent. They then hit the floor. They're absolutely crushing it. No longer having to worry about running these apps and doing these contracts.
Yep. I remember we saw early jumps of like 10 and 15% increases of every location that we started to go
Oh,
into.
it's like immediate, right?
Yeah, just off the bat.
We started in one just to test it with inside, I think maybe 48 hours. We were like, yeah, 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 it's good, it's good.
We're going.
Turn it on. Let's get it on in the rest of them. And so, and man, that was 5 years ago. That was when we were on legacy technology. You completely helped us revolutionize the tech. We've got the tech now where it's automating the applications. You've got your systems in the background automating stuff right to the customer, so they're getting their responses extremely quickly. And then you have that concierge service when it's time to do the contract. And for me, like that was really important because I mean, I was employing 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 year olds and not only were they expected to understand my business, now they're financial coordinators and they have to go over loan documents and all of that stuff. That's just not a good experience, right? So your team comes in professionally trained on all the lending options and can explain that, right? And ultimately make it very, very easy for my business to grow and scale.
And that's all my team does. All day, every day. They're either doing application, contracts, any lenders, anybody out there right now, dealers that are using finance companies. It's not smooth and easy all the time. Right. And so my team comes in, we will troubleshoot, take care of things. But the big part is like what you said. Your top people are typically the ones that are doing those tasks. And when we take that off of them, now your top people are back out there selling, and that really helps increase your revenue.
I would agree. I would agree. Well, let's fast forward, right? It's been 5 years. We've been working together. You started off with my businesses. Now we're in what?
We started off in 4 pet stores. We're now in 75 pet stores, 155 auto shops across the country. We got medical, dental, med spas. It's just continued to grow. It's funny you said 500 applications a month because now we do that in like 2 days.
Right. Right.
The scale and what we've done and what we've learned over the last 5 years, it's been extremely valuable. Every dealer that we've worked with has seen constant increase. And it's just the main thing of having a process, having a flow that we follow every single time. You're going to get better results. And then you have professionals that can troubleshoot any issues you have.
You mentioned you got pet, you got auto, you got medical. When you're looking at the verticals, do you see it to be the same journey for each vertical, or is there nuances where it's a little different for each vertical to really be successful with financing?
So there's nuances to it. The big part is coming in and learning the flow. What's your sales process? How's it work? If you're waiting on PSG, it's not a good fit. It's not a good flow. So we can really customize what you need and what fits best. Right? Is it taking out the sale process of offering financing? We've had a lot of dealers. The feedback that we get from a lot of them is it takes the pressure off. I'm not talking to you about payments and terms. I'm talking to you about my product and just building value in the product. I'm not asking you if you can afford it or not. It's like we've really seen a lot of value in repeating a process, doing it a certain way, having a flow that you follow, and it really takes the pressure off of your team. Having to have these conversations, telling people they're declined, stuff like that.
What do you, like? Let's take auto because I know what you did in pet. For anybody that's got any questions about how they can change the game in pet, we don't even have to just call me and I'll break it down for you. Right? But when we're looking at auto, that's a completely different business model from pet, right? Like we're in a situation where somebody's, falling in love, they want to make that purchase, it's got to happen. In auto repair, they're not so excited about the purchase. Their car's broken, right? And now they're having to go through this. And so I know with working and selling consumer financing in the auto space, we found that a lot of people would sign up for a lender and then never use it. Right. And it's like, well, why would you do that and then not use the actual option? So, like bringing in your service, obviously, you're going to help solve that. But why do you think that even happens? Why would a business not use options?
I think that dials into the employees in the store, right? In one vertical, you're talking about a commission person selling a product that they're really trying to push and sell that product. In the auto vertical, it's more of that's your car that you got to get fixed. So, am I really going to push it as much versus do I even offer it? A lot of the places, what we've seen when you first go into an auto spot, they only have one lender. They really don't even offer or push multiple options. So, us being partnered up with FormPiper coming in, being able to offer different options with different lenders, an easy application process, and then the people working in the shop, they're the office people or former mechanics. They don't really want to talk about financing and do those things. So taking those options off of them, taking those responsibilities off, seem to be a big help because they really want to focus on selling you that product, right? Selling you the repairs that you need on your car. Do I really want to start talking to you about how much can you afford or not?
Well, it's weird. I mean, it's a weird experience for any business. One, you have your core business, but now you also need to be a complete financial institution, right? And that's a very, very hard thing to do. I Let's go back to what you just said, easy application process. Because what I found in my business was if I had, let's say, a new employee, right, and they go out and have that person fill out a credit app and they get declined, having to deliver that decline is very hard. And then to follow that up with, oh, by the way, I have more options. Would you like to fill out another
Yeah.
one? And then if you've got three or four of those options, there's no way that you're making it down to that third or fourth option. That's why we built FormPiper for one application. So that way we could insure it, right? But I feel like that's part of the reason that these guys out in the field, they sign up for this financing option. They can't even get to it because the team, it's just such an uncomfortable experience having to go from one decline to the next. And you basically eliminate that for the business.
Yeah, that is a big thing. I saw that when I was working, my former career at Mariner Finance, that there's a certain level of embarrassment, right? When a customer applies and get told no, apply again, get told no, apply again, get told no. Well, nobody wants to experience that. Nobody likes to be told no once, much less 2 or 3 times. So being able to offer several different options to go straight in and you do get something approved. One of our little taglines is 100% approval with 0% of the work. Right between FormPiper and PSG, we can offer you 100% approvals, and you don't have to do any work. Make sure your customer applies in FormPiper. Tell PSG to do a contract. We call and knock it out. It's a really good fit, and it takes all the pressure off of that sale and even having those conversations.
Which really brings back your true tagline, "We make it easy."
We make it easy.
Right? And it needs to be easy, right? There's a million things going on in business. It's out of control. You might have a plan when you get to work, but that plan isn't going to go down the way you thought it was. And if we can make transacting easier for our customers, right, then we're going to be in a much better situation. And I think the dynamic duo, you put our software in a business, make it easy for the application, boom. Now you come in and you help execute the contracts. Now you have a full turnkey financing department in your business that always says yes, right? And you want to be a yes company in today's world. You don't ever want to come out and tell anyone no. right?
No, it costs a dealer too much money to get that customer to even come to your store,
Facts.
right? When you look at the cost to get them there. So when they get there, if they're interested, you'll make sure they want to buy.
Well, it costs $20 just to get the phone to ring.
Yeah, see that?
Just to get the phone to ring. Imagine having to get them in
To
your
get them
store,
in.
like the cost of getting someone in, and then you don't have the ability to close because you're not offering consumer financing is crazy. I mean, that's why we teach every business. It's really simple. If you want to change your life and change your business, you only have to say one thing to all of your customers. We take cash, credit, and we do low monthly payments. Would you like to fill out an application? That's the only thing that you need to teach your entire organization to say, because there's only a few ways a customer can answer that. And 2 out of 3 of them are with yes, I'd like to move forward with a purchase in your business. But a lot of people, they're not asking the person to transact. They're just educating, and then just that uncomfortable sales process isn't there. So if we could just do that, it actually makes it easy.
Well, and I hear a lot of dealers say that, or sales reps, right? That my customers don't need it. I used to hear that all the time. My customers don't need it. Well, you don't know you want a donut
Mm.
until I tell you I have them in my car, right? Then you might want to buy something. But to say I don't need it, then you're pitching it wrong, right? If I offer you financing and say, hey, would you like to take advantage of our financing programs? Our lenders are offering promotions. There's different ways to deliver it rather than saying, hey, Brad, do you need financing?
Right. It's not about need. Because one, we can't prejudge people. We don't know anybody's financial situation. You could have somebody that's very successful, makes a lot of money, has a great credit score, but they just had 2 kids go to college at the same time and they had to buy both of them cars. And it's just like, I need some help, right? So we don't ever want to look at somebody and feel that there's a need. It's our job as business owners to build value in our product, educate, 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 make it a great experience with great culture, and then let them know that we have different ways for payment and let them choose the way that they want to pay.
Well, and with all these lenders now out there, the different options, a lot of them have deferred interest programs. So even if they don't have to go buy a new car, people that have money in the bank like to keep that money in the bank.
Well,
And
I mean, we're dropping at FormPiper, forget deferred interest, right? Because that's not, I mean, that's okay, but we got true 0% interest programs running out for 36 months. So if you came to me and said, hey, Brad, you could get this $10,000 purchase and it's 0% for 36 months, and then your loan will convert into a 4-year loan after that with interest, I'm going to take that 36 free money.
yeah.
I mean, I'll just leave my money in the market and let it do its thing. I'll enjoy the product and then I'll pay it off with the interest that I made over 3 years. So,
And that's a big point about offering financing. What we see when I compare, even when we have group dealers, right? If they have 30, 40 locations, the ones that utilize financing most have higher tickets. Because when you have somebody else's money to spend, you tend to spend more money. So even if you came into the store and said, hey, I got 5 grand in my pocket to spend, but I tell you, hey, you can use 10 for 36 months on no interest, you're
right.
probably going to spend 7 or 8.
Well, people like to do that too. It's just science that if you make a large purchase, if there's additional things that you can buy at the same time as making the large purchase, it reconfirms that your large purchase was good. And so people will just literally snowball and say, well, I'm going to get that, that, and that, and that, and that, and that, because there's no way that this was a bad decision. And so the next thing you know, we've elevated that. And well, look, we've seen it, right? We know for a fact in the auto repair space, after years of doing this, we took their average finance ticket from $1,150 to $1,550. Well, if you add $400 to every single transaction across the board that's being financed in your business, and if you scale that out and own 10 locations, all of a sudden, you've made a massive pivot and change inside of your business.
And then the great thing is when you're using our services, we only charge you for those contracts. So you're not getting charged until I'm making you money.
Right. It's pay to it's not pay to play. It's like pay like once you get money,
Yeah, go play when you're playing in more money, then you pay me.
we transact. And that's what I love about your business. I mean, you were running 500 applications for me and probably 250 of them were declined.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to pay you on any of those
No.
declines. And then of the other 250, you probably had about another 100 that got approved that didn't transact.
Yeah.
So now I got 350 over here. You did all the work and I didn't have to pay for it. And then I have to pay on the other ones.
Yeah.
And so it's a really, really good business model. And I think one of the coolest things about your business model that I think people either one don't understand or they forget. I think they forget because we have customers sometimes that would like to maybe drop some heat and complain about the time it took on one deal. They forgot about all the other 100 deals you did for them that month, but that one took too long, and now all of a sudden they're ninjas and they can do it faster. But they don't remember the time that you had to call the lender to get the contract restructured because the salesperson did something wrong, and it took an hour and a half to get everything redone, or they had to do a bank account verification with one of the customers, and you walk the customer through that whole process. So the business thinks, hey, maybe this is taking a long time. It's like, well, it's not taking a long time. It's the process.
Yeah.
So you're either going to do it or somebody else is going to do it for you. And there's so many weird nuances that happen on the back end that people just forget that happens,
Yeah.
because you just black that frustration out that you had as the business person. But I remember I used to
But
be in the back office running these apps, and I was like, man, this is just not a great experience. And anytime you have an issue with the lender, I mean, now you're calling them, you're on hold forever. I mean, it's literally, I mean, talk about making it easy,
Yeah,
you
so, I
know?
mean, it's that part and we've even joked at Premier Service Group that we say, "Maybe every once in a while, we should shut down for a couple of days."
Yeah.
Let's shut down for a few days and let these stores remember what it's like before us, because we don't make the issues disappear. They're still there,
Right.
right? There's still a problem. There's still a typo. An account number didn't work, or the dollar amount was wrong, or they didn't want this. They want to change their email. There's all types of nuances that pop up, and so we do take care of them. And it's funny with Premier Service Group. I tell people, we're the front line. If there's a problem or an issue, we're going to catch that heat. We're the ones catching that blame. We're in charge of the outcome. So our goal is to make sure that we process everything as quick, as efficiently as possible. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be errors, but on our side, the store side, the customer side. The cool thing is what we charge you, that 1% financing covers all that. It's
Right.
not just doing a contract. It's we cover up all the mess and cleanup and anything that we have to troubleshoot as well.
So, I mean, it's like true full financing department, right? It's not I'm running your apps or I'm doing your contracts. It's I'm handling making sure that that application that came in was done properly, because if it gets auto kickbacked or it's pended, I'm going to solve the pending because the customer didn't put in their birthday right or their social security number right. So you're ensuring that the app actually makes it correctly. Then when we have it there, if we're having any issues with the lender, if we have to get any additional information, we have to verify income, whatever it is, you're reaching out to the customer to make sure that happens. Then you're executing the contract with the business and explaining everything. And then ultimately, what I think is the most important thing is you're ensuring that the business actually gets funded. And so once that funding happens, that triggers you getting paid. And then if there's ever any issues in the future with that funded contract, you're going to be able to help and assist maintain it.
Yeah,
So this is like full service, red carpet rollout. If you want to just remove financing from your business and have people scan a QR code and make more money, you need to holler at Premier Service Group.
that's exactly it. Yeah, if you want to make a little extra money, and not even a little extra money, because we've
It's
seen
serious money. Yeah, it's
huge
serious.
results.
Yeah, it's
We've
serious.
seen huge results in all the different verticals, and like, yeah, it does completely remove that financing, that issue. Where the biggest part is like what you said, Brad, like that you opened a store to sell pets, you opened a store to sell car repair, whatever it is that's what you want to focus on, not all the other stuff. And so when you're focusing on that, we're focusing on financing. If there's a problem or an issue, my dealers know they can call me. And all I need is the customer's name. Hey, Heath, this something happened. All right, let me go find it out. Let's see what's happening. We'll get it cleaned up and taken care of.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to ask a couple favors of you because you work with a lot of we have joint customers. One, we're launching a podcast, Board Meeting Wednesdays, where we're going to be interviewing business people and having them come in and talk about their tech. So I'm going to have you come on. I have a feeling some people are going to talk about your product as we move through that. So we're going to do some joint interviews with some people in the future. But just in that kind of vein of that board meeting Wednesday coming, what I do is I ask people their top 3 technology platforms. We're not going to dive that deep with you, but for you, what's your number one software platform that you use in your business today to help run your business and drive success?
Oh, FormPiper.
Well, hey, no, I appreciate that. That'll look great on tape. Y'all heard it, right? Number one is FormPiper, number one
Cool.
tech. Obviously, that's the backbone, right? But outside of me, what tech are you using to help run your business?
So some other product we use HubSpot.
HubSpot?
Yeah,
Okay, so number one. All right,
HubSpot is
so
our CRM, and that is but those two products, right, with FormPiper and HubSpot, that is our backbone.
well, talk to me about that then. So, because we use HubSpot as well. And so when you're looking at HubSpot, how does it give your customers, right? So the retailers, the best experience possible?
So we've utilized HubSpot for some of the communications that we send back to the stores. A lot of our templates, a lot of our emails and things that we utilize are all through HubSpot. So it's a really good program as far as tracking those. If we're having any tasks that need to be followed up on, the way that we use the pipelines is a bit unique on how we operate with HubSpot.
Is your portal in there too?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
complete customer portal built because of HubSpot. I can just log in and I can see everything that you're doing. And you didn't have to go out and get a separate company. HubSpot was able to do all
Yeah.
that for you.
HubSpot provided this dealer portal. It was something that they rolled out to be able to utilize the ticket section that they have.
Okay.
And it's just the way that Premier Service Group has customized HubSpot, the way that we utilize it, that we've been able to use that.
I feel like we need to link our portals together, right? So when people log in, they could see like you're like tickets, because yours aren't tickets, yours are like actions,
Yeah.
this money. But then mine could be a ticket. Like maybe the software's not working and they need me to tweak something, but they need to be able to see that update, right? Like, and so
Yeah.
so it'd be cool to maybe to joint do it. All right, so we've got the retailers having a great experience because communications, bar none, fantastic. What about your team? How does HubSpot help your team drive success?
So HubSpot really helps our team by, and it's fun. We want to make it to where you don't have to think, right? We have to troubleshoot and do a lot of things anyway, but like with the playbooks and being able to follow a flow, we've set up HubSpot to where when I move an application from one stage to the next, certain fields are required to fill it. So it really helps our dealers make sure the data that they're wanting to collect, the things that we need to do, it's part of our process. As we move the application through our systems through HubSpot, it makes sure we have to have our employees have to fill out certain fields
So
before they
it
can move on.
it builds your rails.
Yeah.
It keeps people in they're not flailing around and they're just making sure that everything is in there that needs to be in there.
Yep.
Because making notes in HubSpot, my team, boy, I tell you what, if they got to work for me based on their level of HubSpot data entry, like I would have no employees,
Yeah.
right? Like having that system. So I like what you're saying. It's not, hey, do the notes. It's go through the process and then we're going to tell you what notes to put in.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is no typing.
I
It
might
is
need to
there's a drop down.
we might need to sit down. I might need to work a system for my team.
Okay.
So it's like they do a meeting and then there's a drop down and it tells them what to put in because just the ability to say, go put the notes in isn't good enough. It's not a clear enough expectation. And so I've got no notes.
Yeah.
So
Or you have very limited notes, or you have way too many notes. But like if you need certain and specific things out of that conversation,
bullet it.
it's a drop down.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically it's organizing your entire system, whether it's the merchants or team. Do you feel like it either helps you make money or save money?
It definitely helps us make money and save money because of the amount of time that we spend. It's very similar like with Premier Service Group, right? We're helping you save some time, right? There's other things that we need to be doing. There's other tasks that we need to do rather than filling out a whole bunch of an email, right? If it's a template, it's the same thing. It's repetitive. It saves us some time. It is an expense right now because we don't use it as much on the sales side. But as far as helping us make money, definitely without it would be a very big struggle for us.
I mean, every transaction's moving through it,
Yeah.
right?
Everything's
And it's letting you know that it's being held accountable. It's probably letting you know where the deals are that you haven't closed. So you know that you got to close these deals in order to get paid because it's pay for performance.
yep. So everything is tracked. HubSpot is really good for tracking and keeping up with data. Like
Excellent.
with
All right, great. Well, I feel like that was just a little, little board meeting Wednesday tribute. That's what we're going to be doing as we move through. We're going to be interviewing everybody all across the country in every vertical to learn like what's the tech that people are using, and more importantly, what's the tech they're moving to, right? Because if you're using legacy tech that wasn't built with an AI native foundation, in my opinion, you're in trouble. I mean, like
yeah.
with what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks and what I've been building, it's amazing what's happening. I know that we're going to be done with our FormPiper rewrite in May, and our entire system is going to be native, which means we're going to be able to do some unbelievable stuff. So, like, you know, how you call me and you want some feature sets. Like, I'm just going to be able to spin them up real quick and have you testing them same day, not like, hey, let me go to the drawing board and I'll see you in a couple months, right? So, we're very, very excited about where the world's going. So yeah, well, Heath, look, I appreciate you coming on. You know, little vendor spotlight. I want people to know kind of why and how we work together. Ultimately, guys, if you're watching this and you do high ticket retail or services, you need to go look at your financing. If you're not financing somewhere between at least 25% and 60% of your revenue, you have a lot of opportunity. It's obviously different for every vertical. My space was 60 to 65%, auto repairs 20 to 30%. But we'll find that we'll go work with some auto repair shops and they're financing 5%. So now we know they got a 20% lift simply by signing up for FormPiper, building a perfect lender lineup, and installing Premier Service Group to come in and execute the actions. And it's like instantaneous. If you can teach your team how to say one very valuable statement, we take cash credit and we do low monthly payments. And if you can just say that statement, your life will change. And you're looking at the two people that apparently can make that happen for you. So if that sounds exciting to you, reach out. We appreciate you attending the Vendor Spotlight. Have a great day. Appreciate you coming on. All right.